video is about my cousin Gandhi Mohan, also known as Babuji, about his Indian visit. He's a physics professor in northern Brazil and visited India after 35 years with his wife Heather Jennings, and she also had been to India before in 1994, and so it's kind of 30 years for her visit to India. So I kind of talked to Babuji and Heather and get to know their views on India in this about 20-minute video, and a couple of minutes of the video couldn't be recorded, so I initially asked about science and technology in Brazil, and Babuji said that the recent science and technology developments is more a 20th century phenomenon versus India has been known for so much in science and literature. So he quoted an incident where the king of the colony country came to Brazil and asked for a honorary degree, and then they found that there were no universities. So then they established the universities for science. So I think that's the kind of background, and I thought I would combine this with the other video, and so that you can get the context of what this video is all about. So Babuji was here for about 15 days. He visited Bangalore, Coimbatore, Chennai, and Madras. Coimbatore are his parents. They are settled here after about being 60 years in Latin America and the United States. Over to the video.
In Brazil. So
Okay.
I think that's the answer.
Okay. So, but how did you kind of see the generic development in India in science and technology versus what you saw 30 years back? I mean, so whatever you would have seen, or what's your estimate of the progress and
well,
research?
some things haven't changed. I think that because of people like C.V. Raman, there was always a very strong incentive in India to fund and study science. What has changed in the last, but my last visit was in the 80s. So what has changed is, thanks to the internet, there's a lot more access to what people are doing in other countries, especially in the United States and Europe. And so the quality of the science that I saw is much higher just because of this greater interaction. It's less mechanical or rote science and more interesting. There's more dialogue, more interesting questions being asked. And I think I would say that overall, there's a higher level of confidence. There's a greater level of confidence and self-esteem among the scientists.
Very nice. And about your Vellore participation there, the level of interaction you had and the chance to meet people there, and that would give you an overview of the education's focused science and technology in India, and your own participation presentation. I mean, what would you say about that?
Oh, yeah, I was amazed from beginning to end because first of all, the university is very nice, and they put us in in the guest house of the university. We were very well taken care of. All the keynote speakers were eminent scientists from places like Estonia, Australia, Russia, different parts of the world, and of course, many from inside the top universities of India, such as the various IITs. Maybe some 4 or 5 IITs were represented. I don't remember by heart. but I was very impressed. The talks were very good. So I came out of the conference with a very positive uh, view. Having said that, I am not able to judge 100% the actual technical parts of the science because it was formally IEEE conference, not a physics conference. So it's slightly outside my field, but the overall impression I got was very positive. It was
That's
IEEE is an engineering society.
right. So good. So that then leads to the my slightly digressing to your overall view of you have now come after 35 years. So how did you find Chennai, Coimbatore, Bangalore, and so coming up to 35 years versus what you saw, what impressed you, or what are the surprises you had and changes you would have noticed per se from an Indian standpoint. So
Yeah, I mean, I was just blown away. Bangalore and Coimbatore I had never visited before, but Chennai is a completely different city. Even the name is different. It was Madras.
yes, yes, yes,
No,
yes, yes.
no, it's Chennai, and the city is cleaner. I saw much less poverty, so the poverty reduction seems to have real effects. It was quite noticeable the decrease in the poverty in the streets of Chennai. So this was very
Mm-hmm.
good. And I mean, it was the first time in my life that I rode an Uber car, which was electric. So
Okay.
this was quite impressive. The technology in India has advanced very rapidly, much more rapidly than here in Brazil, for example. So this is very
Oh,
impressive.
okay.
The trains were incredible. I I didn't see a single diesel electric engine. I only saw
Yeah, the
um, electric trains.
electric lines. Everywhere you went were electric lines.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
speed
So
and
this was
and
very impressive.
the coaches, the train coaches were very
Yeah.
very good. And
Now
I think
some things haven't changed. For example, we visited several temples in Coimbatore and Vellore, and the so those aspects of the culture haven't changed too much. We also saw various Carnatic music concerts, and so that culture hasn't changed too much. So the
okay.
technology has advanced, and maybe some tastes and values have changed, but many other things have remained the same.
Right. So what was the surprise?
Oh,
Or
for me,
not so good, or whatever. I mean, the
no,
opportunities
I
for
mean, I'm
improvement.
telling all my friends and colleagues here in Brazil that I was just amazed at how much India has developed. And by developed, I mean, reduction in poverty, advances in technology, hygiene, cleanliness. All these things have improved greatly. Um, the science is of the highest quality, and I mean, you see the practical uh, results of this. For example, with the lunar missions, the Indian lunar missions have shown the world the quality of the Indian engineers and space scientists. So it's impressive.
Awesome. And the Indian food. I mean, I know it's a homecoming, but still, to
Yeah,
eat.
the food
Yeah.
was fantastic, and I put on a, a kilo or two of body weight.
Okay.
Um, but I had not tasted, for example, that Bombay dish, pal something.
Pav bhaji. Yeah.
Yes, pal baj. I had
Pav
never
bhaji.
tasted that.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Okay.
Most
Very.
of the other foods I had already tried before, but this pal bhaji was new
Okay.
for me.
And the food in Vellore, I mean, that's a alien environment for you. So, was it good? And
Yeah, it was very
I know
good.
they would have taken care. They would have taken
Yeah,
care, but
the
they're
guest house has a restaurant, and the restaurant serves a mix of South Indian and North Indian food. So some days
Oh,
they had
fantastic.
more South Indian dishes like idli and dosa, and other days they had chapati and some other North Indian dishes. But it
Okay.
was very good.
Right.
It was
So
very good.
fantastic. So, and then anything that you didn't expect, or you expect but didn't happen, or some kind of surprise? I mean, anything that.
Yeah, one of the most pleasant experiences was to go through immigration and
Hmm.
customs,
Oh,
because
okay.
I remember I've been through customs and immigration in India a few times, of course, long ago,
Yeah, 35
and
years. Yeah.
it was really horrible. I
Yes.
never forget the scene of my parents having to bribe one of the customs people. I mean, right in front of me. I mean, there was no attempt to hide what was happening, and they demanded that my father pay some money. And finally, my father ended up paying something just so that we could get out of the airport. And this time, everything was very efficient. They processed the documents very professionally. And the customs also were very professional and fast. So this was really a very nice, positive surprise.
Very
So
nice. And
at least in the airports, the corruption levels have gone down, I think. So this was very
very
good.
nice. And your Uber was, and did you try any private vehicles or non-Uber stuff? Whereas the Indian cabs are known for, cheating passengers. So at least in
Oh,
Madras and all. So, but I think since you used Uber everywhere, I doubt you would have had any that kind of not so very
yeah,
good pleasant experience.
I, 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 I don't think that I had these experiences. I did use some of the other cabs. I think one was called Red Taxi,
Okay.
and I also hired just a street taxi to go from the Coimbatore train station to my parents' house because Uber wasn't working. For some reason,
Oh,
the
okay.
signal wasn't working. And they did charge maybe more than usual, but I had suitcases
All right.
and I wanted to give a good tip to the driver, so I didn't
Yeah.
feel they were overcharging. But maybe by the local standards, I was being overcharged, but it wasn't an issue for me because I was very
Fantastic.
happy
So
that they were helping me with the luggage and
awesome.
you saw
So
how many bags I had, so
yeah, I know. Yeah, you came with 4 and went with 5. So yeah, so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and good. So I think yeah, all in all, it was pleasant experience for you. Nice to hear it, and nice to hear that India has moved leaps and bounds, and the country is yeah, really it's on its shape, and yeah, sometimes the things that had happened during the previous governments and all, the other next generation reaps the benefits. So the scientific temper and all are, it's now beginning to happen. And yeah, what now current things that are being done will be known maybe after a decade or so. Uh, so what's you now see any potential to collaborate and bring the Indo-Brazilian
Yes.
scientific consortium in your own personal view? I mean, I know these some things are beyond your and their level, but at least trying to move the needle
Yes, so I've
on.
made
Uh,
contacts. I've made, in addition to my contacts in Vellore, which I'm trying to formalize. I'm trying to get my university to make an agreement with their university, an exchange, uh, an exchange agreement. But
fantastic,
I also made contacts in Chennai, at one of the institutes in Chennai, and I also visited a center in Bangalore. And I'm also trying to establish contacts in Coimbatore. So I have all these different possible contacts for my next visit. and I'm planning to visit in about 1 or 2 years at most. Since my parents are, they're getting old, I want to keep visiting them as much as possible. And
Fantastic.
Karthik, let me, Heather and I are very grateful for all the help and the hospitality, and you even provided a driver,
No, I mean,
to take us here and there, and that was very nice. Thank you very
we
much.
do that for everybody. Thank you. And Heather, she has any thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
I know she's a busy
Yeah.
lady, and so.
Hello.
So just I won't take much of your time. What was your experience? I mean, you've been 30 years afterwards. After 30 years, you have been in India.
Amazing.
So any thoughts you would like to share? I mean, what went well? What was your experience? And yeah, anything you want to say? Over to you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for this interview. It's really, really fun hearing Babuji's answers and thinking of what I would say also. But the difference between my 1994 visit, which was, of course, it was all in the north, mostly in Maharashtra, but the difference is really visible, tangible, and really beautiful to see. Honestly, to see that there's not as much poverty, there's more organization, cleanliness, and on the streets, really visibly different. And the only thing that isn't different is the goodwill of the people who they were always kind in 1994 and continue to be today. So really, just very impressed and very happy to finally get to go back also. It's a great privilege, and I feel so much gratitude to be able to do this. And also I'm very happy to see the south of India, which was just amazing.
So were people curious to know, where are you from? You're an American or a Brazilian, or were there questions that came up? Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in America, and I grew up in the state of Colorado. I was born in Virginia, but I grew up in the state of Colorado in the high mountains. And we came to Brazil because Babuji grew up in Brazil, and there were work contacts that led us here. And so now I've spent almost half of my adult life, most of my adult life actually, and here in Brazil. So I'm not Brazilian legally yet, but culturally, definitely I've become half and half.
Yeah, right. But did people in India ask you, where are you from? And my question was more that. They did ask.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, of course. Yeah, they were like, and you, are you Brazilian? Most of them just assumed I was Brazilian because we live in Brazil. So really, nobody was surprised that I would be Brazilian. But I said, no, I was born in America, lived in Brazil for a long time. So.
Right, fantastic. It's good. So, I mean, I'm glad both of you had a great time, and your experiences after 3 decades of visiting India is positive, and a lot of positive as well as memories, and that now gives you the confidence to come again and again and again, and
yes, absolutely.
Hopefully we work to host you more times, as well as that also will pull us to push a trip to Brazil when we are in the US, try to go further south and make it happen. So once again, it was pleasure hosting you, and Babuji and Heather, thank you so much for taking your time on a Sunday. I have taken you a Sunday afternoon. It's lunchtime. It's coming to your lunchtime, so I would, I would let you go, and I would work this, the audio and the video, and try to send you as soon as I can. And so have a great day, and it was pleasure talking. So Fantastic.
It's a
Thank you so much,
pleasure. It's a pleasure doing this activity with you.
Yeah, it's good. Great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I'll let you go. Bye. Namaste.
Bye-bye. Namaste.
Bye bye.
Bye.